Antimatter is one of physics' greatest mysteries, but how do we actually study it without it annihilating the instant we touch it? Today, we're breaking down everything you need to know about antihydrogen laser spectroscopy, from the foundational science of trapping antimatter atoms to measuring them with precision lasers, and why it all matters for our understanding of the universe itself. Start with a simple question. Why does anything exist at all? The Big Bang should have produced equal amounts of matter and antimatter, and when matter meets antimatter, they annihilate each other completely, converting into pure energy. By all rights, the universe should be an empty bath of radiation with no stars, no planets, no us. And yet here we are. Something tipped the scales in favor of matter, and to this day, nobody knows exactly what. It's one of the great unsolved problems in physics, and antihydrogen laser spectroscopy is one of our best tools for cracking it. The core idea is elegantly simple. Hydrogen is the most abundant element in the universe, and its antimatter twin, antihydrogen, is built from an antiproton and a positron instead of a proton and an electron. If the fundamental laws of physics treat matter and antimatter equally, as the CPT theorem demands, then hydrogen and antihydrogen should have identical atomic spectra. Same energy levels, same transitions, same light absorbed and emitted. Find even the tiniest difference and you've cracked the foundation of modern physics, and you might finally understand why matter won out over antimatter in the early universe. That's the mission, and here's why it's extraordinarily difficult. Antihydrogen doesn't exist naturally. You have to build it from scratch. And the only place on Earth that can do this is CERN's antimatter factory in Geneva, home to the antiproton decelerator. A beam of protons gets slammed into a block of metal, and the violent collisions produce a spray of secondary particles, including antiprotons. Those antiprotons are captured and fed into a ring of bending and focusing magnets that slows them down through repeated cycles of cooling and deceleration until they reach about 1/10 of the speed of light. A newer ring called Elena then reduces their energy by another factor of 50. Meanwhile, positrons are collected from a radioactive sodium-22 source. The antiprotons and positrons are mixed together in a carefully controlled environment, and when conditions are right, they bind to form antihydrogen atoms. Scientists typically produce around 350,000 antihydrogen atoms per attempt, but they can only trap about 200 of them. Someone once described trapping antimatter as trying to catch snowflakes with a frying pan if the snowflakes wanted to blow up the pan every time they touched it. Because the instant an antihydrogen atom contacts ordinary matter, any wall, any stray gas molecule, it annihilates. Gone. The ALPHA experiment, which stands for Antihydrogen Laser Physics Apparatus, uses a magnetic trap to get around this. Antihydrogen atoms are slightly magnetic. An especially shaped superconducting magnet assembly holds them suspended in a vacuum, never touching anything. Only atoms colder than about 1 Kelvin can be trapped this way, and the vacuum has to be extraordinary. The base experiment at CERN once achieved a vacuum of 5 × 10 to the -19 millibar, the best ever recorded on Earth, and they stored antiprotons for over a year. Once you have trapped antihydrogen, the real science begins. Laser light gets directed at the trapped atoms, and researchers scan through a range of frequencies while counting how many atoms get kicked out of the trap after absorbing a photon. By mapping which frequencies cause transitions, they build up a spectral fingerprint of antihydrogen and compare it, line by line, against the extraordinarily well-measured spectrum of ordinary hydrogen. The progress over the past decade has been remarkable. In 2016, the ALPHA team measured the 1s to 2s transition of antihydrogen for the first time, achieving a precision of 2 parts in 10 billion. By 2018, they'd improved that by a factor of 100, reaching 2 parts in a trillion. And in 2025, by resolving individual hyperfine components of the transition, they pushed to 2 parts per trillion. To put that in perspective, hydrogen spectroscopy has been refined over decades to a precision of 4 parts in 10 to the 15. And antihydrogen is catching up fast. A massive breakthrough came in 2021, when ALPHA became the first experiment to laser cool antihydrogen atoms. Using the Lyman alpha transition, which is notoriously difficult to probe even in normal hydrogen, researchers repeatedly forced atoms to absorb and re-emit photons, sapping their kinetic energy with each cycle. The result was an order of magnitude reduction in transverse energy. Jeffrey Hangst, the alpha spokesperson, called it the most difficult experiment they had ever done. His colleague Makoto Fujiwara, at Triumph, put it more colorfully, saying that researchers had struggled to laser-cool normal hydrogen for years, so this had been a bit of a crazy dream. And now, he said, they could dream of even crazier things with antimatter. Then in September 2023, the collaboration answered another fundamental question. Does antimatter fall up or down? The Alpha G apparatus released antihydrogen atoms and watched which direction they drifted. Antimatter falls down, just like regular matter, consistent with Einstein's general theory of relativity. Joel Fodgens of UC Berkeley, who first proposed the experiment, summed it up neatly. There's no free lunch, he said, and we're not going to be able to levitate using antimatter. The pace of advancement is accelerating fast. In November 2025, a new technique using laser-cooled beryllium ions to chill positrons before mixing boosted the trapping rate tenfold. Alpha captured over 15,000 antihydrogen atoms in under 7 hours, shattering all previous records. And experiments that once required 10 weeks of data collection can now be completed in a single day. And then in March 2026, CERN achieved something nobody had done before. They transported antimatter by road. 92 antiprotons cooled to 8.2 Kelvin were loaded into a portable cryogenic penning trap and driven in a truck as a test run toward eventually shipping antimatter to laboratories across Europe, starting with a precision facility in Dusseldorf, 8 hours away. The next 10 to 15 years promised to fulfill the original physics goals for which the antiproton decelerator was built. With laser cooling now mastered and trapping rates soaring, researchers are already envisioning anti-atomic fountains, anti-atom interferometry, and even the creation of antimatter molecules. This journey started in 1995, when Walter Ohlert's team produced exactly 9 antihydrogen atoms at CERN's Lear facility. Each one survived for about 40 billionths of a second before annihilating. Today, thousands of antihydrogen atoms sit in magnetic traps for hours while lasers probe their quantum structure at precisions that would have seemed like science fiction a generation ago. If a difference between hydrogen and antihydrogen is ever found, however small, it would point toward radically new physics and could explain why we live in a universe of matter rather than nothing at all. And if no difference is found, even at the highest precisions we can achieve, that's a profound result too, one that would confirm the deepest symmetry principles we know. Either way, the answer changes everything, and antihydrogen laser spectroscopy is how we're going to find it.